Welcome to the Insight series on personal well-being. Our question for this week is, what is a good lifelong perspective to have about your own health and well-being? Number 21. In answering the question, what is a good lifelong perspective to have about your own health and well-being, I'd like to share 7 truths with you that I believe are extremely critical in how you live out the rest of your life. Truth number 1 is you determine much of what will happen to you health-wise during your lifetime, as well as the length of your life. These are the decisions that we make day to day and how they become manifest and affect our health and well-being. Truth number 2 is some of your life's health challenges will happen to you virtually no matter what you do, but that's a relatively small number, and you can still significantly affect their outcome. And when we talk about the issues in public health, about the effects of decisions around health, we generally are looking at the 5 Ds. And the 5 Ds relate to dissatisfaction with your health, discomfort and pain around your health. The third D is disease, and we obviously know lots of different possible diseases one can get. And the fourth D is disability, and that's where our health impacts on the range of things that we can do as an individual. And the fifth D is death, and that's premature death. Death before our likely time in terms of the cohort in the population and our life expectancy. So, truth number 2 is that some of those health challenges will happen anyway, no matter what you do to try to avoid them. But they're relatively few, and the outcomes that occur in those health challenges, you have a great deal of influence over. Truth number 3 is the issue of the many small choices we make each day. And those are the small things of life, like what you choose to eat, how active you are, what you do with your stress, what you think about, your sleep choices, how you approach relationships, and 1,000 other choices we make each day. And they will have a much more effect on your health and well-being than virtually anything doctors will ever do with you. So it's rare to have a doctor actually do something that significantly affects your health. Most of it comes from the accumulation of these many small choices that we make each day. Truth number 4, in terms of developing a lifelong perspective about your health and well-being, is that life is not a sprint. Many people think it is a sprint, but it really is a marathon, and the wise pace themselves accordingly. So this deals with the issue of your risk-taking behavior. It deals with the issue of how much you try to accomplish. It deals with the pressure that you put on yourself. There's a whole series of health implications around the assumption that life is a sprint and I have to grab it or I'm going to lose it. Truth number 5 is when you are facing a life-threatening health challenge, and all of us during our lifetime will have one or more health challenges that are life-threatening. So when that happens, you oftentimes have to trust the health professionals that you choose to take care of you. And you have to trust them, obviously, completely, because you're not usually in a life-threatening situation in a place where you can take much responsibility for your health and well-being. But in virtually all other circumstances, which are the vast majority, you want to have the last say in all health issues. And that's because even the best health care practitioners in the world still make mistakes, and you don't want to be their mistake. So there's a whole area of what's called iatrogenic events in medicine. And this is part of what I studied in my master's degree. is we looked at the issue of how much of healthcare is actually helpful, how much is harmful, and how much is actually life-threatening. And there's a significant portion. So we want to be trusting health professionals when we absolutely need to, but not making the choice to be blindly trusting all the rest of the time. Truth number 6 is your health will naturally evolve and change as you age. Expect to be surprised and expect to need to use trial and error to find solutions to many of your health problems. The healthcare system is not able to be precise in its efforts to help us. So we oftentimes have to be wise in how we use trial and error to find solutions to specific problems. And truth number 7 is during your lifetime, you need to become the expert on your own health and well-being. And that means that we need to be observant about what health effects various things have on us and what we can do to help reduce the things that are discomforting or tend to create pain or disability. So again, these are 7 truths that I think if you think about, you'll realize are in fact true for you as well as everyone else. And that these constitute a good lifelong perspective for you to use in being able to take the responsibility you need to for your health, but also to use the health care system more wisely. In summary, there are a number of key truths about what shapes and ultimately determines your own health and well-being over your lifetime. This world does not have all the answers for your health. You'd like it to, and I think all of us would love it if the healthcare system could fix everything that we do to ourselves. But the reality is they can't. And our own kinds of solutions are in fact unique to our own health, our own genetic background, our own series of choices, our own knowledge level, our own expectations, our own mental attitudes and perspectives. And those answers really do reside with us. And that's one of the things that we need to do in order to be able to live a long and a healthy life. Now, for more information on this topic, try putting these terms in your web browser search engine. Health wisdoms, tips for lifetime well-being, attitudes about self-care. Next week, we will address the question, what are some of the current major challenges to our well-being? We encourage you to live well, live wise, live long.